Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bowl with Value. I'm Valerie Bercier, and this week we're gonna do a skills and drills on the wrist brace, also known as the whacker. So stick around and see how I use it, why it's effective, when it's effective, how to use it as a tool, etc., and see what I have in store.
This brings up by 12. Pass it. Really good look.
All right, we are back here at Sherman Bowling Center, lane 2. Typical house pattern. Pattern doesn't matter. I don't think the ball really matters for the use of this whack-a-doodle. Just kidding, it's this whacker. Sometimes we use it because you can literally whack it. The purpose of this is to have a little bit more wrist strength like built in. If you lack wrist strength and can't get the ball under, or your hand under the ball, the wrist brace helps you do that. So I used it for a period of time. So this is mine, and I have it in my bag at all times because my forearm muscle just completely gave out one tournament, and I literally could not bowl without pain until I put this on to take pressure off of holding onto it with my forearm. So like I can literally kind of relax my wrist and it still stays in that strong position. And you can even adjust the cock of it, how your wrist is kind of cocked in a position like that. Hilarious. Or you can, and sometimes it depends on who you are. Some people that wear a wrist brace full time will take it off for spares. What I used to do, instead of keeping my wrist in that strong position, I would let it be weaker and almost, it could kind of flop that way. This Brunswick one is designed that way. There are so many different kinds of them. Maybe at some point I'll go through the different ones and throw them and see what the difference is, but I'm just gonna do this because it was requested on the channel. So leave some comments about what you'd like to see, because we do look at those. So because this was requested, I'm gonna show you and I'm share my experience with it. So I'm gonna throw some shots. Actually, what I'll do, if you're new here, I'll just throw some shots without it. So you can see, if this is your first time watching me, sometimes I wear tape on my wrist, especially if I'm bowling a long time. Holds everything kind of together. Today, so I'm just kind of shooting some videos, practicing a little bit, don't have tape on it. So I'm gonna stand with the Pure Envy. This is a big, strong, kind of new hook and ball right now. Let's throw some shots, get lined up, and then I'll put the wrist brace on and I'll show you what that looks like too. Okay. My first shot is always, I've been warming up, kind of getting loose, and then I stand here and do the recording and stuff, or the intro and stuff, so I kind of get not loose. I'm gonna grab my towel, wipe. So what does my track look like without the wrist brace? Right in there, I kind of spun that one a little bit, so it's a little bit further away than my thumb. Than it usually is. And what I noticed when I wore it full time, when I used to spin it a lot, when I wore the wrist brace, it would bring my track up because I would be able to stay behind it with less effort. So this next shot, I'm actually gonna try to stay behind it better, roll it more, kind of have that stronger release. Uh-oh. Lose a grip, still strike. Okay, let me get that. All right, while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm gonna put my wrist brace on and I'm gonna have it at its, actually I'm gonna go to the middle. I'll go to the middle of the road, a little medium strength wrist position, and throw a shot and you can see what it looks like. So I have to attach it there. And let's hope my other grip doesn't fall out. It's not the first time that's happened, and I actually hope it's the last. So, all right, here we go. 17, same alignment, but just with the wrist brace on now. Ooh! I don't know if you caught how loud that was when it hit the pins, but that was so strong. I also noticed I was able to throw it firmer and more aggressive with the wrist brace when I was using it full time. Every, tournament or league that I bowled. So my track is actually about the same. I did not get it to go up on that shot. I'm still a little on the side of it. And sometimes that can happen with wrist brace. If you come over the top of it, it doesn't matter if you're using wrist brace or not. It's still going to be a weaker position. So the goal is to stay under it as long as possible and drive through it up. Because on the release drill that I did skills and drills video, I showed what it looked like when you're over top of it or staying under it and how much the ball hooked even if you were end over end. So that's what I'm going to try to do on this shot. I just made a stronger wrist position here so I can stay under it and have more forward roll. Oh, there we go. Holy cow. I literally was like, Meep. And that's still, I read the lane so well. I got it in a little bit. It sat. The higher for me, it increases my rev rate a little bit too, because again, I'm underneath it. I can kind of drive through it better. And, that increases, that is a little bit better. You can just see, whoop. And the flare rings are really quite wide, separated on this ball here. All right, well, let me throw a couple more so you can see the idea. It takes some time to get used to it, but I actually, especially if I'm, either in pain or I'm using it as a drill, I really like using it. The reason I like using it is because it actually feels easier. The game feels easier, and I get to feel the right position under the ball at release so that I can translate it into my kind of normal without wrist brace. Yeah, that's really good. And the flare rings are huge, so it's just reading the right part of the lane, blending really well, hooking at the back part of the lane in the right way. Here we go, same one, same shot. Yeah, that was super far behind it. Like I was straight far behind it. The only challenge, and this is what I came into kind of having an issue with it, and maybe it's just my lack of knowledge on how to do it with the wrist brace, was as I moved farther left, it became more difficult to trick my release the way that I know how to do it without it. So using this as a tool, if my ball wasn't hooking on a very long, high volume pattern and I needed to keep it in front of me, I would use the wrist brace as a tool to help that. And then as soon as I got further in, I'd be able to kind of get in, circle it, take the wrist brace off, trick my hand a little bit. So I'll show you real quick because that was super forward. I'll show you what it looks like when you spin it and it's not as strong of a position. I mean, it hooks a lot more, but that's uncontrollable. So if you really try to turn it, you'll probably see more hook, but is more hook in the back of the pattern more beneficial? That 6-degree entry angle is the best entry angle to strike. And if your goal is to strike, your ball doesn't need to always hook that much. So the trick is to use the most, the most bowling ball. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, you can't even see my track. It's so far down. It's like way over here and kind of absorbed in a new, there we go, over here. Anyway, use the most circumference of the bowling ball. And when you're spinning it, again, you're not using the most of the bowling ball. So you're gonna get some over-ender reactions. If you do want to start to use this as a tool, I would recommend the one-step drills versus trying to use it full approach. And I would recommend taking video so you can see where your hand position is at the bottom. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And if there is anything you'd like to see reviewed, compared, or discussed on the channel, let us know in the comments because we look at those and we do this every week. So with that, I'll see you next week. Still striking.